Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Vanarama National League highlight show of 2017 here on BT Sport. Over the next half an hour we'll bring you all the action and reaction to the latest round of fixtures. But first, here are your headlines. Forest Green Rovers romp to victory at Hayes Lane. The Daggers hit 4 at Damson Park. And we find out how 4 National League clubs got on in the third round of the FA Cup. If you paid to watch Forest Green Rovers over the festive period, you'd have got your money's worth. 2 matches with Torquay saw Mark Cooper's side score 8 goals, but take just 1 point. With the top 2 not in National League action, the trip to Hayes Lane gave Mark Cooper's men the chance to make up ground. And they were on the front foot as Elliot Freer forced a fine save from Bromley keeper Alan Julian. Freer is yet to score for Forest Green this season, but he didn't have to wait long for another chance to break that duck as he curled past Julian. His first goal in almost a year. As the rain came down in South London, the visitors continued to pour forward. They carved their way through the Bromley back line. Christian Deutsch the man to double the lead just before half-time. Neil Smith's side had a lifeline 5 minutes after the interval. The cross from Jordan Higgs headed home by skipper Rob Swain, who halved the deficit. But any hope of a comeback was short-lived, as straight from the restart, Keanu Marsh-Brown was given space to finish from an acute angle. His 8th of the campaign, as many as he managed in the whole of last season. And 3-1 became 4-1 just 3 minutes later, when defender Ethan Pinnock rose highest from Freer's free kick. Bromley were down to 10 men when Swain was sent off for a second yellow card late on. That allowed Deutsch to take advantage in stoppage time with the away side's 5th. Another goal glut for Forest Green to seal their first win in 7 games.
Yeah, we could have scored more, couldn't we? But we'll take the 5. So we played quite well in spells today. We've had to do some work on trying to be a little bit tighter at the back. Yeah, we've had to make a little bit of sacrifice in terms of total domination of the ball to give us a bit more defensive stability, which we had today.
Really disappointed with them as a group, because I thought we created more chances than we did last week. Didn't take them, and at the other end we gifted them, and so in the middle it was okay, but either goal wasn't good enough.
Dagenham and Redbridge have been red hot in front of goal lately, averaging 3 goals a game over Christmas and the New Year. No such joy for struggling North Ferriby, who hadn't scored in 8 of their 13 home matches. But the hosts had a great opportunity to break the deadlock early on as Reece Thompson rounded keeper Elliot Justin, but could only fire wide of an open goal. And it proved costly shortly after. The visitors had been victorious in 3 of their last 4 away games, and they led when Luke Guttridge found Fajiri Okunabiri, who drilled past Rory Watson. It took only 2 minutes for the Daggers to double their advantage and take the game away from Steve Howsham's team. Plenty of bodies back for the hosts, but Guttridge was again the provider, teeing up Oliver Hawkins, who finished emphatically into the roof of the net. It was a fine first-half display for Dagenham and for Guttridge in particular. 2 assists and then the goal of the game. Watson had no chance. 3-0 to John Still's men, with still 10 minutes to go before the break. North Ferriby's goal return suggested a famous fight back was unlikely, and the contest was settled with 25 minutes to play. A 3rd assist for Guttridge, a 2nd of the game for Hawkins, who's now on 16 for the season. It's Dagenham's biggest away win in 8 years.
Good a win away from home. Got to be happy with that. You know, you know, people think they're down the bottom and they're not a good side, but they don't concede many, you know, they don't. And for us to score 4 goals away from home, that's a massive plus for us.
We should have been 1-0 up after 11 minutes. Reece Thompson was camped in there half for them first 11, 12 minutes, and he goes round him and, you know, he's holding his hands up, and, you know, he's probably celebrated before he's put the ball in the net, and, you know, that's a criminal thing to do because he's took his mind off it. And then, lo and behold, within a 5-minute spell, the 3-0 up and game over.
Christmas did bring some festive cheer for York City. A first win under Gary Mills came on Boxing Day, but they still began 2017 bottom of the National League. They took on the top scorers in the division, Dover Athletic. But it was the visitors who had the first sight of goal. Sean Newton cleaned through for York, but a heavy touch allowed Dover keeper Steve Arnold to make the save. And Mills's men were made to pay just moments later when Dover defender Jack Grimes fired low past Kyle Leatheringham. The hosts ahead after 6 minutes. But that didn't quell the ambition of the away side. Right back Sean Rooney finding space and producing a super stop from Arnold. And York were level 10 minutes before the break. John Parkin, who made his loan move permanent on Friday, scored on Saturday. The veteran striker had the taste for more as he rifled this effort against the post. York's defensive frailties haven't been on display recently as they'd conceded just once in their previous 3 matches. But they were living on their nerves as Chris Kinnear's men were denied 1 penalty appeal, but not a second. Rooney hacking down Ricky Miller, Dover with the chance to retake the lead in the last 20 minutes. Miller is the top scorer in the National League. That's goal number 25 for the season and an incredible 18 in the last 13 matches. But on a day when the name Rooney was in the headlines, it was Sean who had the last word, making amends with the equaliser. His first goal for the club and his first in over a year. And the visitors might have clinched a priceless 3 points late on when substitute Daniel N.T. raced through, only to be denied by Arnold. 1 win in 20 for York, but plenty of positives for their manager.
I thought my players were excellent today, to go behind twice and come back. I thought we were the better side on the day, I really do, and maybe deserved to win the game, but we haven't. We've got a point. And I've asked the players, you know, to go and fight for everything we need, and they've shown they can go and fight today.
2 wins on the spin had helped rekindle Aldershot's playoff hopes, and while Southport's relegation fears have been eased of late with home success, Steve Burr's team away had won only twice all season. The visitors also have the worst defensive record in the division. So it was no surprise when they fell behind in Surrey right on half-time. The ball cleared only as far as Shamir Fenelon, who lashed in for Aldershot. Gary Waddock's team had their sights set on a 3rd league victory in a row, and it looked like game over on 70 minutes. Jake Gallagher scored the winner against Woking on New Year's Day. His effort on this occasion deflected in off teammate Scott Rendell. We'll let those two argue about who takes the credit. As the clock ticked past 90 minutes, there was still time for Southport to get on the score sheet. A well-worked move finished off nicely by Andre Jones. But too little too late for them. Aldershot are on their best run of form since August.
Despite their precarious position in the table, Guiseley's Adam Lockwood was named Manager of the Month for December. A run of 1 defeat in the last 6, including victory over table-toppers Lincoln, had boosted their survival chances. By contrast, Maidstone have been slipping down the table, but they almost drew first blood as Kevin Locko was denied point-blank by Johnny Maxted in the Guiseley goal. Jay Saunders' side had won just 2 of their previous 15 games, and despite the best efforts of goalkeeper Lee Worgan, they found themselves on the verge of going behind as James Wesolowski went down in the area. Penalty to Guiseley on 32 minutes. Simon Walton is Mr Reliable from the spot, but this effort just squeezed past Worgan as Maidstone were left cursing their luck again. Guiseley were unbeaten in their last 7 games at Nethermoor Park. Jordan Preston wasn't far off doubling their advantage. In what was a real relegation 6-pointer, Worgan and his backline were fighting hard to stay in the game. Walton and Will Hatfield were both denied by some last-ditch defending before Michael Rankin headed straight at the goalkeeper. And that courage paid dividends for the visitors with 25 minutes to play. A scramble in the box and Delano Sam York was adjudged to have been brought down, a second spot kick of the game awarded. Bobby Joe Taylor was the man for Maidstone. The club's top scorer netted his 7th of the season as they sensed a chance to push for their first away win in 7 matches. But it was Lockwood's players who snatched a crucial 3 points. Hatfield tried his luck, then was smart enough to head the ball into the path of Rankin, who registered his first goal since October. Guiseley are now 1 point from safety, another achievement for the manager of the month.
It's obviously nice accolade to get. It's not an easy one, especially when you're down bottom of the league. But I'd just like to thank everybody connected with the club. To be fair, everybody that's bought into what we're trying to do, trying to improve us. And for me, it's not about me getting manager involved. It's about everybody, and everybody connected to the club should take a lot of credit for it. And for me, it's an award that it goes to the club, really.
Struggling Woking travelled to Wrexham, hoping to banish the memory of their recent defeats to rivals Aldershot. Deep in a relegation battle, they're in a fight to extend their stay in the 5th tier for a 6th consecutive season. Wrexham were looking for 3 points to ease any potential relegation fears of their own. After a quiet first half, it was the hosts who took the lead. A few hours after brother Wayne had equalled Sir Bobby Charlton's record of 249 Manchester United goals, John Rooney curled home to ensure a terrific day for the family. To the visitors' credit, they responded almost immediately. 4 minutes to be exact, when Fabio Saraiva stooped to level the scores. But it wasn't long before the home side were back in front. Captain Rob Evans with his first of the campaign to cap off an explosive 9-minute spell with what would turn out to be the winner, ensuring Dean Keats's side win back-to-back home games for the first time since September. Woking remain in the drop zone, 2 points from safety.
It's been difficult with 40 feet on the bounce. Get a win against Southport and you go and lose again, and then made a few changes, freshened a few things up this week, and I think we definitely deserve the 3 points today.
Goals were certainly not in short supply in Torquay's last 2 fixtures. Kevin Nicholson's side were involved in 2 of the games of the season over the Christmas period, beating title-chasing Forest Green 4-3 on Boxing Day before an incredible 5-5 draw on New Year's Day. 6 winless games had seen Borehamwood's faint playoff hopes fade recently, but they came close to opening the scoring in the early stages when Joe Devereux's goal-bound effort was cleared off the line by Courtney Richards. Moments later, the hosts went close to breaking the deadlock themselves, but Sam Cheney was desperately unlucky to see his 25-yard strike come off the outside of the post. Torquay were looking for their 3rd home win on the bounce and once again went close in the second half, Grant Smith tipping over Ben Gering's header on this occasion. The decisive moment of the match came on the hour mark. Sean McGinty made a mess of his clearance before winger Bruno Andrade showed great skill to nutmeg Gering and curl past Brendan Moore in the Torquay goal. The single goal enough to give Luke Garrard's side all 3 points as their 2nd season at this level gets back on track.
Performance-wise, I don't think we played anywhere near what we could do, but no disrespect to a performance, it's all about the result, especially being on a torrid run, as you said before. After not winning in 6, it mattered about getting the 3 points today.
We were poor. We got what we deserved really in the end. Didn't do anything like we talked about. Didn't follow through anything on any kind of game plan that we put together. Too many players that were way off the pace. Too many that looked comfortable, looked like they thought they'd made it, and we got a job done on us.
Solihull Moors and Gateshead came into this fixture off the back of positive results over the festive period. Solihull secured back-to-back victories over Chester, and Gateshead emphatically ended Barrow's 25-match unbeaten run with an impressive 4-1 victory on New Year's Eve. 19-year-old forward Niall Bell scored his first senior goal for Neil Aspin's men in that game. He followed it up with a second for the club in this one on 22 minutes. Gus Mafuta latching onto a loose pass from Joel Kettle before teeing up the former Rochdale Academy player. On the hour mark came a moment of controversy. Amari Sterling-James could have been through on goal were it not for Liam Hogan. Referee Alan Young only produced a yellow, much to the relief of the Gateshead skipper. The visitors had failed to score in their previous 3 away games, but they were pushing hard for a second in the latter stages. First, Mafuta saw his 25-yard drive expertly tipped over by Solihull keeper Danny Lewis. Moments later, Wes York broke from deep within his own half before providing for winger Luke Hannant, who could only hit the post. But the points were sealed in the dying moments. A cheeky backheel from Sam Jones for his first in 7 to make it 2-0 Gateshead. Victory for Neil Aspin's side takes them to within 7 points of the playoffs.
We've just got to try and get as many wins as we can, but you know, it is tough. It's a tough league. Every game's tough, but we've got to we know we are capable of winning against any team. We've got to be more consistent, and hopefully we can do that over the second half of the season.
Good news for Gateshead, but not great for Solihull, as that defeat means they dropped to 16th in the table. Wrexham's 2-1 victory saw them leapfrog Liam McDonald's side into 15th, and is the great escape on for Guiseley. Undefeated in December, Adam Lockwood was named Manager of the Month, and now his side are just a point from safety. Not a lot of movement at the top end. Chester's playoff charge continues after coming from 1-0 down to defeat Braintree 2-1. They currently lie in 9th place, level on points with Gateshead. Boreham Wood got back to winning ways against Torquay. They move up to 10th. And Forest Green look like they may have shaken their festive hoodoo with a convincing win at Bromley as we get into the business end of the season. But there were 4 sides flying the flag for the National League in the FA Cup over the weekend. Andy May has more.
Sutton know a thing or two about an FA Cup shock. They recorded one of the competition's most famous giant killings when they beat top division side Coventry 28 years ago. On this occasion they faced neighbours AFC Wimbledon at a sold-out Gander Green Lane, and perhaps should have progressed to the 4th round with Matt Tubbs and Maxime Biamou both missing superb opportunities for Paul Doswell's men. They'll do battle again with the League One team in just over a week.
I think that people thought we were the better side today, and you know, it's a big chance here for us. I thought their keepers made 2 or 3 very, very good saves, and we've done ourselves credit though. You know, I thought we put on a good performance today.
Barrow's 25-match unbeaten run was ended at Gateshead on New Year's Eve, but Paul Cox was optimistic his team could reach the FA Cup 4th round for the first time in the club's history when they hosted League One Rochdale. But it wasn't to be, as clinical finishes in both halves from Dale's top scorer Ian Henderson ensured that Barrow failed to make round 4 of the competition at the 12th attempt.
The lads have worked extremely hard. It's been a fantastic journey. We got beat by a very good side today. I said that before the game. Keith's done an absolutely fantastic job there, and you know, we dust ourselves down now, and we go again.
Eastleigh boss Martin Allen took his side to former club Brentford on 3rd round day. 69 places separated the 2 clubs in the football pyramid. Eastleigh, though, were well and truly outclassed by their championship opponents, losing 5-1 on the day with Lassie Vibe and Romain Sawyers scoring 2 of the best goals.
Couldn't ask any more from our players, and I think all the Brentford supporters appreciated that at the end, where they gave them a standing ovation coming off. And it was still, despite the result, a great day for me personally.
The standout performance of the weekend involved National League leaders Lincoln City. They travelled to Portman Road to take on Championship Ipswich Town, FA Cup winners in 1978. Nearly 5,000 away fans were cheering on Danny Cowley's men. highest away attendance at Portman Road since 1992. And they were in dreamland after just 7 minutes. Theo Robinson playing it out wide to Nathan Arnold. Arnold crossing for Robinson, who opened the scoring. The Jamaican international netted twice in the round 2 upset over Oldham and was leading the way for Lincoln again. But the lead lasted just 5 minutes. The ball given away by Alan Power, and Ipswich's Tom Lawrence, a product of the Manchester United Academy, showed the talent he has at his disposal, firing through Paul Farman. But Cowley's players were intent on causing another cup shock. Christophe Berra's back header was judged perfectly by Robinson, who volleyed home his second and sent the travelling fans into ecstasy. Lincoln leading again with 25 minutes to go. A famous victory for the non-league side looked on the cards until the 86th minute. That man Lawrence trying his luck from range. Farman struggling to get down to the ball and couldn't keep it out. Ipswich rescue a replay, but the City supporters will fancy their team's chances at Sinsel Bank.
We were under a lot of pressure today. You know, we felt the responsibility of 5,000 supporters coming all the way to support us, and we really wanted to give the very best version of ourselves and make them proud, and we're pleased that we were able to do that.
Because Lincoln played very well. I thought they were excellent. We both had spells in the game, but to be honest, I think they were the better side overall, and probably didn't deserve that, but then we gave a couple of soppy goals away as well.
Well, if you want to see more action from Lincoln City, BT Sport is your place to be this month, as we have them twice in 5 days. Make sure you tune in to BT Sport 1 on Friday the 20th of January as Dover Athletic visit Sinsel Bank. Then on Tuesday the 24th is Danny Cowley's side, who are on the road with Barrow, their opponents. Both of those are at 7:15, and you can also watch in glorious 4K on our ultra high definition channel. That's all we've got time for this week. Don't forget you can watch all of our programmes on our dedicated YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.